Hello there everyone, Shibby here. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Today I'm back once again with some more Pokemon trading card game Pocket ranked matches. Today's video, I feel like trying out this Donphan deck that I put together and see if I can manage to win a game or two online with it. This deck is really simple in its composition. We're just running Lucario and a Donphan EX. Basically, the whole game plan of this deck is to use Lucario in the background with this effect where it boosts fighting Pokemon damage, and then have Donphan be our tank slash damage dealer. This deck is pretty quick to get running if you can draw into the right cards immediately. Donphan just needs 1 energy to swing. If it has 2 additional energy on it, it'll do 60 more damage, giving you 110, 130 with the Lucario, and 150 if you have both of them up. And yeah, nothing in this deck really has a whole lot of energy to build, so you can get going pretty quick if all the stars align, so to speak. But yeah, that's kind of what we're hoping to do, what I'm hoping to accomplish with this deck. But I will have the entire deck list in the description of the video below, should you want to try this deck out for yourself or simply make it better or improve upon it. But yeah, that's enough of me rambling, and let's see if this deck will actually win some ranked matches. I'll be back when I find my first game. Alrighty, looks like I found my first opponent here, and we do get to go second, which is always nice. I won't ever complain about that. Alright, 2 Fanfees, but no Donphan, and no Railu to get our Lucario up and running, but still, better than nothing. Looks like we're going up against Meowscarda right out of the gate, but the good note is that we get to go first. Or attack first, I should say. Even though, unfortunately, with Fanfee, the particular one that I'm running, it does more damage the more it's been hurt. And if you're not hurt, it does no damage. So it's kind of a glass cannon that I am trying to pull off with this here. So hopefully we can draw into what we need sooner rather than later and have to wait around here. So Meowscarda Beedrill. I think I've seen that for a little while here. Alright, thankfully they can't make any moves. Alright, we get a Sabrina. So let's go ahead and oak it up. See if we can draw on anything halfway decent. We get a Pokeball, 2 Pokeballs. Okay, so we can have a full field. But no evolutions just yet. Alright, do a Pokemon communication into this deck, so I'm going to hold on to 1 Rilo. And for Riolu, I probably say that name 100 different ways, but we'll attack just because we have the ability to do so, even though we'll do nothing. Alright. So if they actually do damage to us, that actually does help, but we don't want too much damage done to Fanfee here. Alright, hopefully next turn I can draw into Pokemon Communication. Or just straight up draw into Donphan, which would be better. Ask and I shall receive. We do get our Donphan. Alright, let's get him in here. And instead of attacking the Floragato, I'm actually going to switch in this Beedrill, because us getting energy taking away is very bad. So let's go ahead and eliminate the threat of that. Even though Meowscarda is going to hit us for a ton if it does get fully evolved. So that is a slight issue, but we'll do what we can here. Alright, please don't have your Meowscarda just yet. They have it. Alright. So this does, what, 120, 130, but Donphan has a weakness to grass. It does 150. Alright. Okay, well, I'm going to play Railu and make a big gamble here. If both of these are Lucario, we win. Both of them are not Lucario, but at the very least, we can get the KO with this Donphan on the bench. So we're going to do our 130 here. We're going to sacrifice this Donphan. Alright, so that wasn't a bad use of Ino there. Alright, maybe a little bit of a bad use of Ino there. Or of, yeah, I know. That's what I meant. I thought I said the name of the other card, but that's Lily. Alright, a little bit of a problem territory now. Alright, we'll use Lucario because he didn't have a weakness to grass and he's not EX, so we'll only get hit for 60 for having Lucario out. Now, unfortunately, I need 2 energy to get Lucario back out, so that's a slight issue. Alright, so what I really need is my other Lucario. But I don't know if this is going to be very winnable, honestly. Because with 2 Lucarios in the field, the most I can do with the active Lucario is 80. And the most I could do with Donphan is 90. So just a slight problem. So yeah, we're going to take the 60 here. And I do get a Cyrus, but not really helpful. Alright, so what do we do here? I guess switch into Rylu to live? I don't really have much choice otherwise. I mean, attacking really nets me nothing. But we can be a little bit of a pain in the ass and swap the Meowscarda out. And that'll be it. So now we're just kind of delaying the inevitable at this point. I have bad luck of running into the direct weakness of a deck whenever I build one. That just seems to always happen. We're going to lose here because I can't tag either one of them out. By the time I could, we would be out of turns. Yeah, but this seems always to be a problem. Like, I always, when I build like a deck like this, which was centers around Donphan, of course, the first deck I'm going to run into is immediately a grass type deck that hard counters it. Because, of course. Alright, Pokemon communication is pretty useless here. So we'll just do our 70. Alright, they're gonna evolve their other Meowscarda, or their other Meowscarda, because I can. But it is all for naught, as this one is going to KO us. Oh, come on, is that really necessary? That's Tails anyway. Like it matters. And down goes our Donphan. And down goes the game. Unfortunately, we run into a direct Kryptonite and answer for this deck, it looks like. Alrighty, well, hopefully we can have a little bit better luck in the next game and not run into another grass deck here. But good games that opponent. Know back when I find my next match. Alrighty, looks like I found my next opponent here. And we are going first, which isn't terrible with this deck since we can get started pretty fast, but not so great when we start with Riolu. Or Riolu. Whichever one. Alright. You get one of our poison barbs. Go ahead and do that. And we can do nothing. Other than that. Luckily, we do have 2 Lucarios in our hand. So we can evolve next turn, but not attack. And of course, Susween's being run in this. Alright, well, where we have not a whole lot of anything, we are in a bad way because Susween's going to get started just instantaneously, so it does put us in a very bad position. But we do get Fanfi here. And I can't evolve it because that would be too easy. Alright, we'll retreat it. We'll flip-flop. I'm going to put a Poison Barb into the Fanfi. We'll get our Lucario out. And hopefully the little lad survives one more turn. because we are desperately going to need it. All right, now they've played a trainer card, so they can't exactly get Feebas out for free. And they've opted to just go ahead and put energy into Lucario. So we can go ahead and eliminate the Feebas, unless they do choose to evolve here, which they don't. All right, we get another Fanfy. I'll gladly take that. Would have honestly rather had the Rayolo, but... So we have 2 Lucarios going. All right, we'll evolve into our Donphan. We get a little boost. But Suswing is going to be coming in with full power and be able to attack. So probably the wise thing to do in the next turn would just be putting energy into Lucario unless I draw another Donphan. And hopefully they don't have Greninja just yet. Greninja kind of makes everything erasing its time. And the longer Sue swings up, the more of a chance they're going to get to do that. Oh yeah, we're going to get hit for 80. They're going to get poison. Alright, so yeah, it is not worth it to... Oh, never mind, we get our other Donphan. I was going to say it's not worth it to put energy into our active Donphan and just put it in Lucario, but we have a backup Donphan, which is nice. And we'll just swing on Suswing here. Alright, if they attack, they do eliminate our Donphan, but they also lose because they lose Suswing in turn, and they don't have the Feebas to evolve into Meliotic to... Milotic, however you say that, to get the health boost. So they do have to tag here. And they do. Now I do have a Cyrus in this deck, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see that. Alright, so let's see what Greninja does. I mean, they have to hit the active Donphan if they're going to have any chance of KOing me here. Alright, they do swing on us. We're going to drop 2 points here, unfortunately. But nothing we can do about that. Alright, we get our Donphan into our active zone. Alright, we did not get a Cyrus, which would have been nicer. Alright, so we have to live with Donphan here. Or live with swinging on Greninja here. Alright, they're going to play Hydra, but they will still lose Greninja. Alright, who... Oh, they're actually going to opt to attack Lucario. That's a misplay. I don't know what the thought process is behind this, because they just lost by doing that. I'm going to say, unless they had a back pocket Cyrus, that was about the only shot they had, but they just kind of gave me the win here, more or less. Alright, well, goodbye, Suswing, and we win. Not exactly sure why they made that decision. Definitely would have been wiser to leave Greninja in, or at the very least, if you're going to tag something in, tag in the Froakie, so you didn't lose 2 points there, but... Oh well, we'll take gifts where we get them. Alrighty, well, good game to the opponent, and we'll be back when I find one more match. Alrighty, this guy found potentially my final opponent here, and we do have the good luck of going second. Alright, we do start out with the Fanfy, not bad. But not an ideal hand, to say the least, but we do have a Pokeball to make this a little... to give us a little bit more breathing room. Alright, so they're running Type Null, but they're running Electric Energy, so what are they running in conjunction with it? They got an Oricorio. So that can prevent us from doing damage with Donphan. but not Lucario. So we do have to kind of play around that Oricorio. Let's play our Pokeball. It's going to be Riolu. So we have nothing else. Put energy into the Fanfy, even though we can't really attack. And that'll be our turn. Now they already have Silvally. I mean, I can't hurt it anyway, so we're not going to attack into it. Alright. Well, we're going to be a nuisance. I'm going to play Sabrina to bring in the Oricorio so they can't attack next turn. And we're actually going to split the energy here just to get Riolu up because we're going to need him. Because we're going to need Lucario to attack in order to actually hurt Oricorio. Alright, we're going to play Ino here. Because we need our evolutions and we're not getting them. Alright, we did finally get Lucario. We'll put energy into our Lucario, and if they actually choose to swing here with Oricorio, that actually is good for me because we'll KO with Fanfy. Which does make room for Lucario, but they got 2 Oricorios, so that does make this a slight problem. Alright, they got Oricorio out for free. And since they played Leaf, we do lose Fanfy here. Alright, but they are going to get poisoned. But they are going to be able to poison me back, which is unfortunate. And there's the Cyrus. I don't know where I was going with that line of thought. There is Cyrus. Alright, we get another Riolu, and we do get a Donphan here. Alright, unfortunately, those Oricorios are pretty much guaranteed we can't attack with Donphan. So I'm going to have to put energy into Riolu back here to actually do damage. So we are going to get poisoned. But that's kind of something we're going to have to live with here. Now, I was going to say if they do attack me, they do lose their Silvally, but not anymore. And they do 100 damage. Okay. Alrighty. Well, we get another Donphan. Okay, so slight problem. I mean, I could retreat into Donphan, but we need 3 energy to get him back out before I could ever really get him built back up. I think we would just unfortunately just lose. Alright, they're going to opt to bring in Oricorio, so we really I mean, I think I just lose here, actually. Yeah, they're just going to pop me for 50. And then I'll take 10 from the poison, and that'll be it for the round. And we're going to lose our Riolu there, and the match along with it, unfortunately. Alright, well, we're going to go 1 and 2 with Donphan, unfortunately, but I think I probably could play that last match better. Now, could have played it into a win? Probably not, but it could have been played better for sure. But alrighty, I think I might try this deck again, maybe at some point, and I'm sure there are some improvements I can make. I do run 2 poison barbs in this deck, so maybe I could just swap those out and put Leaf in to make it easier to get Donphan out. That's probably a better choice. But I just tried the poison barb just to see how that would work and try to make people burn Guzma cards. But I guess if you're not running it, those cards are burned anyway. So I digress. Definitely a better way to run this is all I'm saying here. But either way, good game to that opponent. If you made this far, I thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you feel like it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.